Y'all thought I was gonna just leave y'all? Y'all thought I was just going to not say nothing this week? Y'all are wrong. It is 10:15 on a Tuesday. Hey y'all, hey. Y'all, I gotta get my hair together. But hey y'all, hey. Like, I just did my nails. Y'all see it. Y'all see it. Another nail set. But yeah, look at my hair, y'all. Look how, like, I was looking through videos of my hair and stuff like that. It's matted to my head. I was looking at videos of my hair and stuff, and I'm like, I have came a long way. Oh yeah, over on TikTok, y'all. I want to I'm finna put it back in a ponytail because I look like something out of the 70s, especially with this, how this is kind of shrunk and this is expanding in the back. But hold on, y'all. All right, it still look crazy, but yeah, this is my little puff. But I'm tired of wearing it like this. That's why I had to call maintenance in and be like, "Hey, like I need y'all help." Hopefully, I would say hopefully, but I kind of want to be here when they come in because I don't like people being in my house. Like, that's a running thing with me. I don't like people to be in my house if that's fine. If I'm not here because I don't know what's going on and what's happening. So, yeah. But yeah, y'all, like it's Tuesday, it's the night vlog, and I have so much to tell y'all. I have so much to tell y'all. Um, right now, right now, I am just waiting on. It's probably already done though, so I'm probably gonna throw it in the dryer. Yes, at 10 o'clock, I'm gonna throw it in the dryer and stuff like that. Y'all, like I figured out like how like I got a few more boxes, and it's honestly just like my dishes, and I got like two personal or miscellaneous boxes that I still have to put up. I have space for it. I just in my head I gotta figure out like especially with the kitchen, I haven't went near it and stuff like that. So in my head, I just really need to figure out what I want to do with it and stuff like that. So I'm still like in this organized phase and stuff like that. And in this place, like at first I was gonna show y'all like me leaving the old house and walking into this new house and stuff like that, and showing y'all like the walls and the decorations that I'm gonna do and all of this. And this is the place to where I feel like God is calling me, especially like how I'm moving in silence. This is a place where God is calling me to just be at peace, be at rest, and just be in Him. Like, I don't know how much longer I have with just it being me and Him before, like, all the other promises that He promised me comes to pass and stuff like that. And I've been talking about how, like, when it comes to my husband, he'll get some of that time. And then when it comes to me having kids, they're gonna get like my full attention because they're the next generation. Like, and I'm preparing you to live in a generation to where you're kind, you're nice, you're responsible, you're respectful to everybody of every kind. You're not finna disrespect nobody unless they disrespect you. So, and honestly, even with that disrespect, I don't expect them to be disrespect back. I res- I expect them to respectfully disagree with someone disrespecting them. Um, but even with that, it's just like, I know for sure, like, I'm not sure how long, I have, just to be here, or if God is going to take me like all the way into this single life to where like I get like what I've been asking him for. And you know I can't, honestly, I can't wait. Like I can't wait to um get to that point. I can't wait to get to the point where like what I've been asking God for and what he has promised me has collided, and I am able to get what I deserve, you know what I'm saying? And hold on. I had to wipe y'all off, but y'all still look blurry. Um and God, someone tried to frustrate me on Sunday. And it's so funny because I understand that people are going to be mean, people are going to be hateful, people going to have the demons like in them. So me irritating other people's demons and stuff like that, it's just like um me irritating other people's demons. It's just like it is what it is. But with this person on Sunday, it was just like you maliciously are trying to irritate me. And I told I think I was telling Instagram about that because I was talking about the lady who left the comment on my post saying like, oh, you sound like you have some mental health issues and stuff like that. And it's just like, in what way? And it was like, I don't care what anybody else does. I don't care what anybody else has to say about anybody else. If I am if I'm minding my true business that God pays me to mind, I don't care if you a Christian or you Buddha or whatever you want to call it, you Hindu or all these other religions. If you're minding your business and everything, you shouldn't worry about what somebody else is doing. And I had to really watch my video to see like, okay, in what way did it show anything about, and I talked about it on Instagram on Wednesday, and because that's the day I pray, and I'm like, in what way did it shows that I have any mental health issues? In what way? And you're not a psychologist, so how can you diagnose somebody with any mental health issues? You're just somebody. It sounds like you're just somebody that's your spirits that's behind you are just irritated by me, and I'm not bothering you at all. So I was talking about that, and I was like, y'all need to leave people alone. I was like, ain't nobody finna sit there and just let you talk bad to them over and over, or you was nice to them and they sit there and just repeatedly, oh, she's mean, she's stubborn, she's stuck up. And it's so funny because even when this lady called and tried to agitate me and tried to get me to be aggressive and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, that happened. But then I took my break on Sunday, and I remember, let me see, because I got the picture. I was asking God, I was like, God, I'm at a crossroad. I'm like, I don't know if, is this going to happen and that's going to happen. And, I just need to know if this is something that this is in your will. And I told Instagram, like, God had showed me, because I'm like, Lord, well, show me this and show me this insect, because I hadn't seen one, I was going to say in years, but I hadn't seen one ever in the where I was located before. I'm like, I haven't seen one ever. And then one popped up, and then I'm like, okay, God, you know, that's your will. Like, that's your will for me and stuff like that. Like, I can't doubt that is I'm like, I can't doubt that that's your will for me. And then, after being frustrated and agitated by this lady, I still didn't, like, even with the lady who left that comment on my video, I still didn't click on her. I still didn't go off. I still wasn't the black girl that, at work they try to make me seem like, or make me seem like I'm just this person that's rude and all of this other stuff. I still didn't go off on, this lady that called in, and she was agitating me. She was calling my name. She was like, I know you didn't cook the food and stuff like that, but and it's just like, you don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to call me with aggression. It's like, either you want your money back, and I feel like a lot of people need to know this. Either you want your money back, or you want them to recook it in the way that you want it. But it's not going to be in the way that you want it, because there's two different ways. Like, there's two different ways of cooking, and where, like, and also there's different people who cooks the food. So sometimes you're not going to have it your way. It's not Burger King. You're not going to have it your way. But if you want it your way, you're going to have to go to the place to where you get it your way. So you can't come at me with this aggression, and it's just frustrating because, of course, no protection from nobody. And I'm just like, bruh. But at the same time, just like the man who came in and don't want to give no phone number, don't want to give no name. He'll make up a name, but he won't make up a phone number, which is annoying. So he'll make up a name, but he won't make up a phone number. So I made him up I put the name in there, and honestly, it was a day of the week. So he was being real petty, and he just looked at me like, you ain't gonna get mad this time. Like, you ain't gonna, be frustrated. And it's like, I'm not finna let your demons irritate me today. I'm not finna let your demons irritate me today. So it's just like, after that experience, and I put on Instagram, I was like, I love that God is training me on how to deal with people's demons and how to just know how to deal with them. Like, so next time that person call, and next time that person tries to come in, hopefully they don't try to come in and get their food from my little section. Next time they go to the section that they used to, because it's not going to be the same. I know how to deal with that. And that's it. That's all. But yeah, just like I learned how to deal with the man who don't want to give a name, don't want to give a phone number, and I just gave him a random number, gave him his receipt, like, hey, this is your phone number for now on. Whatever name you say that day, and whatever you try to come in, this is your phone number for now on. Like, and it's just like, don't, and it's so funny that I was saying that on Wednesday about how don't call if you don't got no receipt, if you don't have no, if you feel like your product messed up and you come back and you trying to be like, hey, this is messed up and stuff, and you don't have no receipt or no phone number to be able to call and give you a refund, because you want to play around and act like, oh, well, if I give you my name and phone number, y'all gonna be doing this and doing that. It's like, no, it ain't even that deep. It ain't even that deep. Because she at least had a phone number and a name and stuff like that. But it's like, you don't have to be aggressive. It's either you want your food recooked or you want your money back. Because if you wasn't satisfied with it, that's fine. So she really tried to irritate me, but once I got on break, this same insect that I still hadn't seen, because I thought I was gonna see it at work, but I ended up seeing it on my mom's birthday. And it's so funny. I seen it on my mom's birthday in my yard, and the first time, and this second time I was actually at work, because at first I thought I was gonna see it at work during it, because I asked God in May, like, Lord, okay, like, what are you doing right now? Like, is this gonna come to pass? Like, is you going to fulfill this, and is you going to fulfill that? I was like, show me this insect. And then he showed me this insect out of the blue, and I took a picture and stuff like that. But on Sunday, this insect came back, and it was a different one. It was a different one. It was bigger. Like, it was bigger, and it had like stripes and all of this stuff on it and all of that. And I was like, yo, I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, Lord, I was like, you're amazing. And I was doing my grocery list, and I was sitting, just sitting outside. And most people probably like, why do you sit outside like on your breaks and stuff like that? Because I don't want to be bothered. I don't want anybody messing with me. And I like to stay away from people who like to talk about people and like to gossip and like to just down and belittle people. So I sit by myself. And that's been me from my factory job. Like, if any of the factory people that I worked with, they will tell you, like, I sat by myself. So that's the same with this job too. So I went on my break, and I seen it, and I was like, Lord, you're so amazing. But this one was way bigger. It had stripes on it and stuff like that. And I was like, amazing. I was like, Lord, you're amazing. I was like, whatever you're doing, Lord, I know it's gonna come to pass. And just because these people are coming with these attitudes and trying to get me out of character and trying to provoke me and trying to get me to say this and say that, I said, you're in control. Like, you're completely in control. That insect that I seen just showed me, like, God is in control of it all. And, at first, back in, I would say May. I think it was April. No, it was May. I was doing a countdown, and I was like, Lord, I don't want to be disobedient towards you. I was like, I want to do whatever you're calling me to do. I was like, whatever's in your will and stuff like that. And, honestly, I can't, and it's so funny because I know the devil is mad about how many people who try to come in my throat just because I'm talking about God, I'm talking about Jesus, I'm talking about my testimonies, I'm talking about what I've been through, instead of them gossiping and being like, oh, well, she did this, she did that. And it's just like, man, God brought me out from that. Like, God brought me out from that. And that ain't even half of the story. You telling bits and pieces, and some people try to twist it and manipulate it and try to control. So it's just like, you don't know the half of what I've been through and what God has brought me through to get me to the point to where I'm saying I'm sitting my butt down. I'm waiting on God's promises, but I'm also living my life. I'm not out here sinning. I'm not out here trying to be mean, malicious, or do anything to anybody else. But I'm legit waiting. God showed me who my husband is. I know who my husband is. Like, and even with the lady who commented on my thing, it's just like, just because you don't know who I am or you don't know who my husband is, and it shouldn't be nobody's business. Like, my husband and what God has showed me shouldn't be nobody's business. Now, once we come together and we tell our testimony of how, like, this person was against this and this person was against this, and, this person came in the middle of this, and, we had this going on and that going on. Once we come together and tell our testimony, then it will make sense. Hearing one side of it or trying to speculate, oh, well, you have mental illness because I know who my husband is, or I sat my butt down instead of being out here dating, instead of going to D word to D word. I'll say D word to D word because God is still trying to change my language. So, or penis to penis, and I am just waiting on God, and waiting on God, but I'm living life. And that goes into, like, that's what I was talking about on Instagram. It's just like, just because I'm not going to penis and penis to penis and penis, and I really never went to penis and penis. I really had an issue with men breaking my heart. I really had an issue with men just using me up. I really had an issue with being too nice to people. So when it comes to, like, me isolating myself and not wanting to talk to people, not wanting to really associate, it's just like, leave me alone. I don't associate for a reason. And, let's keep it at that. So it's just like, yeah, so it's just like, you may not understand, but I completely understand why I set my butt down. And you may not understand it. You may not completely get why I set my butt down and ask God, like, hey, God, send me someone. Or God, because, like, I told Instagram, I told God to send me a friend. And God was like, well, I'm sending you a husband, which he had already given me a dream about, but he just now started to bring this man up into, like, remembrance and having me notice him. And then he hit me with, this is your husband. And if I can help anybody else going through the journey of wanting to sit their butt down because they've been hurt, because they've been all through this, dragged in the mud with these men and all of this other stuff, and they're like, God, send me someone. And God is going to send them someone that completely understands their journey. They completely understand their testimony. And it's not finna sit here and judge them in their face. And they're going to be 100% the man that they need. And they're going to fill those gaps where you done had to heal from. So, and it's so funny because I just talked to my mom and I was like, I'm surprised grandma ain't called me, even though, like, Sunday I was so irritated to where it's just like, this is why I be like, don't call me, don't, like, I don't want to be on the phone, like, I don't want to be talking to nobody, like, this is why, because not only am I answering one phone with the headset, I'm answering the curbside phone, and I'm also packing and taking orders out. So it's just like, I have all of that. And it's just like being a superwoman. And I remember telling God, I was like, Lord, I was like, I'm up here doing this, doing all this and doing all of that. And I was like, I'd rather help my husband. I'd rather be buckled down and supporting him and helping him out Because why am I being superwoman to people who barely care about me? Because anytime, and just like that lady who called on Sunday, she was like, Sylvia, Sylvia, Sylvia. And it's just like, anytime somebody needs something, anytime somebody needs a handheld, anytime someone needs someone to talk to, or, just comfort, is Sylvia. But at the same time, I don't get the respect when it comes to appreciation. When it comes to, I'm up there being superwoman, and there's no type of like I appreciate you. It's more gossiping and rumors and all of this other stuff, and it's just like, I will forever sit by myself. I'll forever isolate myself when it comes to people like that. So, yeah, so I sat there, and I was just like, sitting there one day, and I was like, Lord, I was like, I'm doing all of this stuff, jumping through all of these hoops for people, and I'd rather jump through hoops for my husband. Like, I'd rather support my husband. I'd rather be there for my husband in the way that I need to be there for him than to be there for people that don't really like they see me as someone that's gonna get the job done and make them money. So yeah, and I know my husband is gonna come in and love me the way I need to be loved. And it's funny, but at the same time, it's just like, you know, if he waters the grass, if he plants the grass seed, if he fertilizes the grass, he's always gonna get a person that he's always gonna get a person that is truly gonna support him and be there for him. Long as he's not, and you give grace, but long as he's not like this type of like, you know, like belittling and, you know, like behind the scenes, dissing. Like, long as he's not doing that and he's like, hey, like, that's my wife. Like, this, and this, and this. But yeah, like, so that was something that happened. But when I sat on break by myself trying to do my grocery order, which most of my groceries did not come today, I sat there and I seen it and I was like, Lord, you're in control. I said, Lord, you're in control. And, I figured out how I kind of want my house to be, basically in like order or whatever you want to call it. Um, and I was asking God, like, Lord, well, should I do this or should I do that? And telling him like what I want and stuff like that. Cause he gave me a color. So I'm like, Lord, should I do this or should I do that and stuff like that? I already know how like I want my rooms and stuff like that, and kind of how I want my setups to be, and somewhat. And yeah, so, and honestly, even with the stuff that I'm excited about, because I told Instagram that I'm excited about like the new things that's coming. And even with that, I feel like I got a hump in my back. I'm still, what time is it, y'all? Oh, it's 10:46. It's not bad. 30 minutes. Um, I don't know how I'm gonna edit. Like, I haven't been editing my videos. I just been posting them. Like, y'all will get content when I fully feel settled. Like I said, I still got like 4 or 5 boxes that's on the floor that I need to, clean and wash and all of that stuff. Because most of it is dishes. Because like the kitchen is the hardest space because um I'm just trying to figure out where to put everything. So the kitchen is the hardest space right now. But yeah, so um in other words, in other news, but yeah, like I know talking about God, talking about Jesus, like the devil is super mad. Um and it's so fun. Like oh yeah, I was telling y'all about my mom calling. My mom called and she was like, I had a dream that I was fishing, and I've been watching fishing videos, y'all. I love me some fishing videos. There's a few people that I watch. Like, there's 2 or 3 people that I watch. Mostly, yeah, there's 2 or 3 people. You might as well say 2 or 3 people. Um, and I've been watching fishing videos, and she was like, I went fishing. She was like, I was catching some bass and stuff like that, and she was like, somebody is pregnant. She was like, I I had a dream that I was catching bass and stuff like that. And she was like, I ain't been fishing. She was like, I don't really go fishing, which she don't. We was on a boat, like I remember like from my childhood early years. We was on a boat with my dad fishing years ago. Years ago. So it's been probably 30 plus years. Or 20 something plus years. But she was like I know I don't fish and stuff like that. And she was like, somebody must be pregnant. You know, that old superstition that like somebody must be pregnant and stuff like that. And lo and behold, like one of my cousins is pregnant and stuff like that. And I was like, dang, it's so funny that, these kids, like I'm 32 and these kids that's like in their early 20s and early teens are already up 3 kids. And you know, it's the cycle ends with me. That cycle ends with me. Um, I've had a few nieces and nephews that hasn't became pregnant. They done reached their 18 mark and stuff like that. So they haven't became pregnant now. And I have a lot of nieces. So they haven't reached that, oh, like I'm pregnant mark. So it's just like, that's a good thing. But, to see me and to be like, yeah, like, um, I don't have kids yet, and I don't plan on having kids out of wedlock. Um, I plan on being married, and if I don't get married, there's no kids that's gonna be popping out of me. I may adopt, I may do this or I may do that, but there's no kids gonna be popping out of me. Um, and it is what it is. It is what it is. Like, I don't plan on um I don't plan on having kids out of wedlock. That was never the plan even when I was a child. So that was never the plan. I was like, Lord, that's one of the things I do not want is to have kids that's not with someone that's not gonna support me, not gonna be there for the kid, not gonna completely just take the time out. And I'm just thankful that God, respected that prayer. And it's still a prayer that's answered, but he was like, hey, like sit your butt down somewhere. So, I've been sat down. But yeah, so it's interesting, like all of those, and that's why I was kind of reaching that, like, I can't stand like this younger generation of parents. This younger generation of parenting, because it's just like, I wasn't able to get enough communication from my mom about those subjects and stuff like that. So, the fact that, letting your child grow up and letting them be grown and, and stuff like that, it's just like, I thank God that my mom, I was remember, I was talking about the Nolan situation on Instagram, and I was like, I thank God that my mom said no. I thank God that my mom and my grandma still be like, hey, don't be out here drinking and smoking. I don't care how old I am. It's a lot of people that has died from kidney failure. Like my dad kidneys was completely trashed. Um Strokes and, heart attacks from smoking and all of this stuff. And it's just like, I'm thankful that they still to this day. It's annoying for sure, because it's just like, I used to drink a little bit every now and then. But it's just like, I already knew like that's not something that, was me. That's not something that was my character. So it's just like, um I'm thankful that they say, like, even today, like, don't be out here drinking and smoking. Watch who you be around. Da 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 da. Like, I'm thankful that they still instill parenting in the situation, that even though I'm grown now. We may not want to hear it, but I'm thankful that they still give me a reminder, like, hey. And sometimes it may just be God being like, you know, don't be out here doing this. Don't be, and he sends somebody else to be like, hey, you need to chill out. If you is doing it. But you just listen and go on. So I was talking about the Nolan situation, and I was like, I thank God that, I really didn't go over people's houses, and I really was, to myself and throughout my years and stuff like that. And I was talking about like, I was talking about how I was growing up, and I made so many memories of, people coming over, my cousin's friends coming over, and the neighbors coming over, and we all get together, we all chill, we all hide and seek, freeze tag, running around my grandma's yard and stuff like that. And it's just those memories that you can't get in, it's hard to get or make for your child in 2026 and beyond, whenever you pop a child out. But it's hard for you to make those memories, but at the same time, you're still able to make some type of memories with them. You're still able to give them some type of experiences to where it's just like, they're not sedity, they're not uppity, they're not treating anybody like, or judgmental or anything like that towards anybody who is not like them. So, yeah, you still able to give them experiences and stuff like that. And I want to make that for my kids. I remember I told Instagram, I was like, at this point, my husband is a city slicker, and I am the country bumpkin that I absolutely love the country. I don't like neighbors. I don't like people to be in my business. I don't like people to be messing with stuff. I don't like, like, I just like to be left alone. So it's just like, I may end up having like that country house, that country. And I doubt if my husband lets me. I doubt if my husband lets me be in a house to where it's just like, oh, we at mama house, and then we go to daddy house, and then, we sometimes stay here, we sometimes stay here. But I'd rather be on the countryside, in the country. Is that something that my husband may have to sacrifice? Yes. Will he sacrifice? I don't know. And with this journey of like, and when God tells you somebody is your husband, it's gonna come to pass. And I remember telling, when the lady posted the comment, I'm like, no matter if it happens when I'm 50, 60, and I have all this stuff that I accumulated being like, oh, like I like this for my husband, or I like that for my husband, or, um buying just random stuff to where it's just like in faith. And it's just like, no matter if I have all this stuff that belongs to my husband and he doesn't come to I'm 50, or he doesn't come to I'm 60, guess what? He just comes when I'm 50 or when I'm 50 or when I'm in my 60s. I'm still living life in those moments. I'm going to still make memories in those moments between the time that, I'm living life and he's coming. And he's here, basically. So it's just like, I don't care what, he can come tomorrow, he can come a week from now, he can come a few months from now, he can, he can be a year from now, or he can be 10, or he can be 60. And guess what? I will still know that that man is my husband, without a doubt. Without a doubt, it's my husband. And I would know that, I would know without a doubt that man is my husband, and that God showed me him, and it is what it is. And whatever whatever comes with it, like if I have some animals, if I have a few adopted kids, if I have this, if I have this land or in this spot, like it is what it is. Like he's just gonna have to come in, and he's gonna have to come in with a plan. Who gonna stay where? Who gonna do what? Who moving to where? Are we moving to a different land together? Like, like that's just how it's gonna be. And I'm not rushing anything, and that's why, like, I legit gave my husband back to God, because I'm like, I'm not rushing him to, surrender his stuff to God. You don't want to rush a person to surrender to God, because if they come and they still not ready, then it's just like, okay, like I'm still going to have to take this back to God and pray about this and pray about that. So yes, it's not going to be perfect. And just because, like, man, the prayers that I prayed for my husband before he got here, in the pruning stage and the healing stage that I went through, and I was praying for him without knowing I was praying for him, it's not going to take God long. It's not going to take God long. And I don't think I would be 10 years out in my 40s, in my 40s being like, yeah, he's still my husband. I don't think it's going to take God that long to do what he needs to do. But yeah, it's almost 11 o'clock, y'all. I'm finna watch a movie that I'm probably gonna watch it on my phone. But yeah, like, and the thing about it, I remember someone saying, like, no matter if you was, and I've been through this in real life, no matter if you was on a platform or wasn't on a platform, you still gonna go through the warfare. You still gonna have people hating, you still gonna have people talking about you, you still gonna have people saying this or saying that. You still gonna go through the warfare, because you're someone trying to connect to God and get connected. Some people can't handle the warfare. I remember saying this, I may not bring up his name, because I know for sure that my husband know about this person. And my husband probably was looking at the other video like, so you talking about him. So but it's my testimony. Like, my husband don't have no clue all the stuff that, like, because that was a year-long run in with someone to where it was just like, you know, that person could have did the right thing. That person could have did the right thing. He didn't do the right thing. Um and yeah, my husband have no clue. But I think he knows about that one. I think he absolutely for sure knows about that one. Uh but yeah, with that one, I was like, I feel like he couldn't handle the warfare. Like some people will sit there and that means you're not equally yoked to that person. That means if they can't handle your anointing, if they can't handle what you're called to do in God, there it's not gonna work out. Because even with the last situation, I'll call it a situation because what was it? With the last situation before my husband, you realize that you're not equally yoked when it comes to them giving you all types of like, they're not understanding where God is taking you and what you have to do. And they don't want you to put God first. Like it was really bad. Like they don't want you to put God first. So they're like, "Oh, well, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do that, but I'm putting God first." Like even with like me surrendering my husband back to God, I'm sure my husband didn't want that. I'm sure my husband didn't want me to just, come back in and was, speaking and talking and then just being like, okay, well, like, I'm gonna have to give you back to God because, like, I know that you supposed to be pursuing. Like, you supposed to be pursuing. I'm sure my husband did not like that. And for us to go back in separation, I'm sure he didn't. Hold on, y'all. But yeah, I'm trying to get the dry skin on my lips. Oh well, I got my Vaseline down there. I'll put some on. Got me looking ugly. But yeah, it's 11:03, y'all. Let me get my life together. But yeah, what else I was gonna say? Um, I'm not sure what I was gonna say, y'all. But yeah, like when I gave my husband back to God, everybody was sitting there like, oh, like she breaking up with him, she doing this, and it's just like, no, it's not a breakup. Like my husband needs to do some things in God, and I don't know if it's to surrender. I don't know if it's to, like come towards me. I don't know what it is that he needs to do, but if you reach out to a person that God has told you that is your spouse, there should be some type of communication. Like there should be some type of communication back. And it's just important. It's just important to understand that, like, okay, like, Lord, where am I with this? Where am I with this person? Like what is going on his end? Now, I be a little bit nervous to say that because God will give me a dream about my husband real quick. And then it's just like, oh, like now I gotta pray. Now I gotta pray for him because, he's in this situation or he's dealing with this situation and stuff like that. It's like, okay, now I gotta pray for him. But yeah, like I don't care. Some people be like, it took me this amount of time and stuff like that. But if you're living while you're on this journey of God sending you a person, it's worth it. Like it's worth it because I'd rather do this than to sit around going penis to penis and being like, love me, be here for me, support me. I ain't got time to be yelling at nobody. I ain't got time for my peace to be messed up. I ain't got time for um to not be equally yoked and a person don't want me to talk about God. It's just like I I chose to let God usher me in usher me in a relationship. Cuz I want for my husband, in which I absolutely love and adore my husband. Um I want for my husband to we both be on some peaceful. Like, we gonna have arguments, we gonna have little spats, of course. But at the same time, like, even with my spats against my husband, I be looking like it be funny because it's like sometimes I be like, he didn't have to apologize, like, and I was like, Lord, he didn't have to apologize for that, or you know, I understand where he was coming from with this. Like, he didn't have to say, feel like, he was overstepping or anything. Cause like I understand. Like, and that's what you hope that God gives you. Like, you hope that the person understands you without having you to over explain yourself. Like, you hope that the person understands you so much to where it's just like they know that it wasn't malicious. Like, it wasn't malicious. It was, they get your personality. They understand where you was coming from. Like, there's been some points where it was like my husband was apologizing, and it's just like he didn't have to. He didn't have to. So I, I just hope and pray that I just hope and pray that, I don't know. Like, I just hope and pray that, everybody gets to experience this. Everybody gets to be equally yoked with someone. Because I didn't have to do much. Like, I didn't have to do much. Like, I don't have to say much. Don't have to do anything, honestly. And that's the whole point. Once you start doing too much, then you have to step back and be like, God, like, you know, I know you told me what you said is what you said. So maybe he's just not ready. And I watched a video to where it was saying like the communication, the silence is how the devil enters and stuff like that. And it's just like, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. Cause I'm praying for that man. I'm praying that that man open his mouth and speaks to me. I'm praying that that man will come to me and have a conversation. I'm praying that that man will just come and we just sit down and talk. But yeah, like I'm just I'm just thankful that you know I'm just thankful for like what God is about to do. And um yeah, like just because you doing it different, people don't understand, people not gonna understand, and you're gonna go through the warfare. And God I got frustrated and stuff like that because it was people standing in front of me and I couldn't say what I wanted to say to the lady. But then once I got on break and stuff like that, like, and I seen that butterfly, I just knew. I was like, and it was bigger than the one I saw. Y'all excuse my lips. It was bigger than the one I saw. I saw the other time. I was like, God, you're in control. Like, you're in control of all of this. You're in control. And, you know, I don't know. It's just like I'm thankful. I'm thankful. And so if I didn't show you, like, with that video and that comment, if I didn't show you how to handle things with peace, with grace, with God following you, like, I'm still fighting too. Like, I'm sure my husband has some flaws. But I'm still fighting, like, I'm fighting like just the devil every day with, you know, trying to pull me back into old patterns every day. And I have to be like, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. I know I would when I was speaking to my husband, I was like, I keep my head anointed. And when I bought my oil for when I brought my oil for anointing, I did anoint the house that I left like one last time. And I kept anointing my head because I'm like, I deal with a lot of people's spirits. Like there's a lot of spirits on people um when I go to work. There's a lot of people, and it's so funny because even with, you know, that lady from Sunday kind of trying to antagonize me, there was someone who came in on Saturday, and he was like he was like, I want to do the party room and stuff like that and all of that. And he was like, can I do it? And I was like, yeah. I was like, what are you looking for and stuff like that. And I was like, and I sat there and told him on Saturday, I said, if you want to eat at the grill, it's not the same as the party room, because the party room is cooked out of the kitchen. There's a whole different experience. I was like, but even with um even with like the grill, like I wouldn't even, you can just come in and stuff like that and you get to have the experience. But if you want the party room, it like has the karaoke machine and y'all can sing and stuff. I was like, it's a vibe depending on, who you bring and stuff like that. And who want to get on the mic. I was like, it depends on your party and stuff like that. And he was like, and these the customers that I absolutely love. He was like, he was like for real, because like I'm very informative, and that's why I said like I'm like a superwoman when it comes to a place that really just sees me as like someone who makes them money. So it's just like, he was like, for real and stuff like that. He was like, and I was like, yeah. He was like, well, I'm gonna talk to my girlfriend and stuff like that. And he was like, I'll give you a call back. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm not here during the morning. I was like, I'm here during the weekdays. And he was like, for real. He was like, I'm gonna call, and he was like, I'm gonna ask for you and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, and stuff like that. So, I love my customers like that. Like, I love my customers that's not finna sit there and be like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna judge her off of this, I'm gonna judge her off of that, I'm gonna judge her off of like what somebody said and stuff like that. It's just like I didn't know him, but like his party, like the party that he's doing, I don't care. Like I want to see that. Like I want to see that. Like I don't, they coming in later, but like I want to see that. I don't care if I have to come in on my day off to see them there, because it's just like, that's gonna be a lit party. Like I can't wait to see that. Like that's gonna be a lit party. But I love a part, like I love when people come and actually have fun up in the party room and just be themselves and stuff like that and have like a good time, because it reminds me of like, I was just telling God, like, I was like, it's really nothing that like I can really do. Like, sir, like they play like my TikTok, y'all. My TikTok, I need to revamp it. Um, I just deleted a video that, had a Chris Brown song on it. And y'all, that little lustful man. Um and I just like all the songs that I got on my TikTok, it's just like it's all my songs that I have on my TikTok, they're got cussing in it and stuff like that. And I'm like, that ain't even me no more. Like that ain't even me, because I try to avoid cussing at all costs. I try to avoid all cussing at all costs. Because it's just like, I'm watching my mouth. And it's mostly not my mouth anymore, because I done stopped, but it's because it's been a few years. But it's mostly thoughts, self-conscious. So with songs with cuss words, with different things with cuss words and stuff like that, um, it's just like you want to like kind of X them out of your situation and stuff like that. I know some people try to still listen to certain songs. I still try to listen to like old school stuff, like maybe a Temptation or you know Isley Brothers or something like that. Something, not something that's like very sexual. Until I'm married, not something that's very sexual and stuff like that. I've been trying to find songs to where it's just like it's R&B, but they're not talking about they're not they're godly songs. They're godly songs. So I've been trying to change it. Like I haven't really been on the music hype since 2023. Um so yeah, I've been trying, y'all. I've been trying to find music that I can listen to. Even some of my content creators that, if they have a video that, has cussing in it and stuff like that, I stop watching them too. Like, just because my self-conscious, like my thoughts, like it gets in my self-conscious. Even the little Spin That song, I haven't heard this song. I haven't heard the full song. But because people are putting it in their TikToks and because it's on Instagram and stuff like that, and I'll click on the video and it's on there and I'm trying to like look at the video and stuff like that instead of listen to the song, it still got in my self-conscious. And I was like, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. I had to rebuke the song. So now it's not just in my self-conscious no more. So like I said, y'all, I be fighting. That's the main thing that I'm fighting right now, is just like stuff that's put in my self-conscious. Like, and that's why for sure I'm gonna watch what my kids watch. Like, I'm gonna make sure like they ain't watching nothing crazy. Cause I was telling Instagram about the avatar, like how I was editing my video and the avatar had the all seeing eye and they was putting their hands. Cause most of the time, when they in the earlier movies, when she laid, like the human lady laid the hands on she was a healer or whatever, it didn't have no symbol, no symbols like that, like the symbolism like that. That's what I was trying to say. Um, so it was weird that I looked up and I looked at my TV and it had that symbolism, and I was like, bruh, like, can we avoid it? Can we not, run into it and stuff like that? But sadly, that's just the lifestyle they put in our face. So like, I'm gonna have to even watch what my kids watch what they watch self-consciously, because I can't just sit you in front of the TV and just let stuff play. Um, But yeah, y'all, like that's it. That's all. Like it was a rough Sunday, but God still was like, it's coming soon. Like your blessings is coming soon. Whatever you need, I'm providing and all of that. So it's just like I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for it. And kill people with kindness. Like if y'all see anything, I was supposed to post a video about a testimony in the comments of one of my videos, and I forgot to do it. So I gotta go back and find that video to be able to post the testimony in the comments. So I need to find that because it was about a man who had God told him to quit smoking, and he ran up and I had to find it. But yeah, but God had told him to quit smoking, and then he quit smoking, but he quit smoking the Black and Milds, and he said because God said those exact things that he quit smoking those things, but then he started smoking cigarettes, and then God was like, "Hey, didn't I tell you to stop smoking cigarettes?" And then stop smoking, and then he said he hadn't smoked since 2009. So I gotta find that video. I like the video, so it's easy to find, but I gotta find my video to where I was telling y'all about that and all of that. So, but yeah, so I just been getting my life together. Even though I know that God is moving and God is doing a new thing. God is doing something new. Um, but I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed, y'all. Despite it. All that is going on, I'm so blessed. But yeah, like I was on Instagram and I was on Instagram and I was telling them like, people is not finna let you just sit there and talk about them or say this or say that. Like, they gotta stand up for themselves eventually. They gotta stand up and talk back eventually because you not finna just sit there and people is not finna sit there and let you talk about them over and over and over and over again. So, I know my husband is doing some stuff and got stuff going on in the background. And whatever God has him doing, I pray that God has him doing it and he's not doing it of his own free will, even though he has free will. I pray that God is ordering his steps and, you know, all of that, and he's doing what God is, telling him to do and telling him, the thing to do and stuff like that. So I pray that God is ordering his steps and he's following what God is telling him. But yeah, like, you know, I'm so like, that bothered me a little bit on Sunday, but then God was like showing me another one, and I was like, ooh, it was my husband's favorite, like one of my husband's favorite colors. I wouldn't say his favorite color, but his second favorite. And it's so funny because I was joking with my husband, and the thing about me is if you know no matter if I say my husband's name or if I don't say my husband's name, um, I feel like people on this journey of being like, I know who my husband, even if they wrong, even if someone feels like, okay, yeah, I've been with this person for this amount of years and stuff like that, I feel like he's the person for me, but he may not be, he may not be. Like, you have to take it to God and God show you actually who your person is and show you over and over again, over and over again, like constantly, that this person is for you, to be able to be like, okay, this person is for me. But also you can be like, hey, God, remove anybody that doesn't supposed to be here. That will get everybody up out of your life that doesn't supposed to be connected to you, that you done connected to, that they don't supposed to be there. Like, they don't supposed to be in your life. So telling God, like, hey, whoever doesn't supposed to be here, Lord, get them out of my life. And he will remove them. He'll take them out. That's one way. Cause especially if you seen some red flags with the person you've been with for years and stuff like that, it's like, Lord, if this person doesn't supposed to be here, remove them. Friends, family, all of that. Sometimes God will bring back friends and family, though. He will bring back friends and family. They won't be the same. Even with prodigals and stuff like that, people who are not, they know God and stuff like that, but they went a different way, they went a different direction. They will come back and they will follow. They will be different too. They'll act like a whole different person when they come towards you, and once God says it's the appointed time for them to come and show their face. But yeah, y'all, let me get up and throw this stuff in the dryer. It's 11:27. I'm gonna watch my video. Well, I'm gonna watch my movie. See if I like it. I may not watch it. I may find something else to watch. But because I'm about to go to sleep, so I like to watch something peaceful, nice and peaceful. So we'll see. But yeah, let me go to bed. I don't know if I'm gonna edit this. I might edit this in the morning and then put it up by Wednesday night or Wednesday evening. I don't know. I gotta pray tomorrow. And stuff like that on Instagram. But yeah, like, y'all kill people with kindness, because no matter what, God is your vindicator. Like, don't try to prove yourself. Don't try to act like, well, you treated me this way and you don't even have no argument with people, because God will vindicate you every time. God will vindicate you. You ain't gotta fight. You ain't gotta say nothing. God will vindicate. Let God fight your battle. Every time. Every time. And lately, I've been having to rebuke stuff, because it's like, Lord, I know you ain't gonna let them treat me like, I know you're not gonna let them treat me like that. And it's just like, you know what? Have mercy. Have mercy. And I have to start saying that. I have to start saying, like, Lord, have mercy on their soul. Because I feel like everybody should be treated the way they should. Everybody should be treated the way you want to be treated. Unless they're coming with some type of aggression, coming with some type of disrespect, that's when you start cutting ties. That's when you start dissing yourself. But when it comes to people being different, being weird, being quirky, loving, loving like a certain thing, or like playing with marbles, people collecting rocks, people got a house full of cats, like, let them be them. Don't sit there and judge them. Let them be them, and let them live life. So yeah, your business not their business. It shouldn't even intertwine unless you coming into a union with them. Let's God being like, hey, like, this is your husband, and that man is a nerd. That man is a nerd. Like, he tech geek, he all this, and he this, and you're gonna be perfect for each other. That's when the business intertwine. But other than that, don't try to intertwine and mess with somebody else. But let me go, y'all. It's been over an hour telling y'all about I feel like I haven't posted a video. I was supposed to post a grocery video from the Dollar General, but it started raining. It was raining today too, so yeah. Sorry. I may do an extra video this week just to make up for it, because I'm like, I was supposed to post I was supposed to take out a Dollar General with me, but you know, I'll have some shopping videos soon. But I love you guys. I'll see you guys later.